Hello, in this lecture, first of all, we are going to look at how we can convert between the different units that used for the measurement of the temperature. For measurement of the temperature in chemistry, we have three different units. The first one is the Fahrenheit, which is used in the United States, and today's 88 Fahrenheit, that is pretty hot. And in a lot of other countries, the temperature is also reported as Celsius, the C's, Celsius. And in chemistry, a lot of calculation is using the international standard unit, which is the Kelvin. That is one of the 7 SI units. So how to do the conversion between all these units? So the conversion between all these three different temperature units as is, the first one we are going to look at between Celsius and Kelvin, because Celsius is kind of the bridge in between the Kelvin and Fahrenheit. So if you measure the temperature in Celsius, for example, Celsius, and what you are going to do is you are going to add that number to 273.15. That will give you a number that is a temperature in Kelvin. Okay, Kelvin. So that is the first conversion. If you want to simplify, it's basically whatever you want to calculate in Kelvin. If you have Celsius degree, then that will be plus 273.15. So if you do the reverse, if you want to know the Celsius degree, you know the temperature in Kelvin, then that number minus 273.15 will give you a Celsius degree. The next conversion is between the Fahrenheit and the Celsius. So for Fahrenheit to Celsius, if you want to know what the temperature in Celsius, basically what you are going to have here is you are going to have your temperature in Fahrenheit minus 32. Okay, this is minus 32. And then you are going to use this number times 5 divided by 9. Okay, so that is how you do it. So let's write it a little simpler. Fahrenheit temperature minus 32 times 5 divided by 9. That will give you the Celsius degree, the number. Okay, if you do the reverse, what you are going to have here is, if you want to know the Fahrenheit, then what you are going to have here is you are going to have 9 divided by 5 times the number in Celsius plus 32. A lot of time you also will see people say 1.8 times the number of Celsius plus 32. Okay, so that is a conversion here. So this equation you do need to know, especially if you can know 2 of them, the other 2 you will be able to derive it. So the first one is Celsius to Kelvin. The second one is from the Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, so this is conversion. Now we are going to use all this equation to do some practice. The first one is we want to convert 68 Fahrenheit to Celsius. That is going to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So what we have here is 68 minus 32 and times 5 divided by 9. That gives you a number is about 20 Celsius degree. Okay, and from 20 to Celsius degree to Kelvin, so 20 plus 273.15, that'll give you 293.15 Kelvin. So that is how we use these numbers to do the conversion. Now it's your turn. For the next 2 questions, you are going to use this equation to do the conversion and come back to check your answer. I have my answer here. If you have any questions, please let me know. The next set of unit you are going to encounter in chemistry is the unit for energy. So what is energy? Energy is the ability to do the work. And for each matters, it will have potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy is related to the position of the subject, and the kinetic energy is due to the movement. And if we say something is lower energy, that always indicates that something is more stable. And if we say something is higher energy, it is more unstable. So for the energy, the unit for energy you do need to know here is that the basic unit we have here is joule. Okay, and the abbreviation we will have the J as a unit for the energy. Also, we have the calorie that also indicates a unit for the energy. For the conversion here is 1 calorie, spelled as lowercase cal, that is 4.184 joule. This is the conversion. So where does 4.184 joule come from? Basically, 1 calorie is the amount of the energy that required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So that is the unit for the energy. You will see this unit later in the course. The last thing we want to talk about in this lecture is a term so-called density. So density is just a definition that we are looking at the mass of a sample divided by its volume. So density is defined as mass over volume. So when we are looking at mass over volume, a lot of time you will use D, okay, mass over volume. And for the volume, you will have units such as milliliter or cubic centimeter, liters. All this can indicate the volume. And for the mass, the standard, we can have the grams, we can have kilogram. It really depends. So for the unit of density, you are going to expect to see, for example, gram per milliliter. For water is 1 gram per milliliter, meaning what? For 1 milliliter of the water, it's weigh 1 gram. And sometimes you may see gram per centimeter cube. So that is all the unit for the density. So basically, how to get the density? If you know the mass of the subject, you know the volume, then you can use the division to find the density of the subject. Now this is a table that have the common density for some common materials. So we know that the air is very light, meaning what? In this 1 milliliter or in certain volume is light, so the density is small. And compared to very, very heavy metal, for example, mercury is one of the heaviest metal on Earth. It's liquid actually. The density is very, very high. So that is the density. Now we are going to use the definition for density to solve some problem. How to calculate the density from the mass and the volume. So this question reads as an empty Alamar flask. It is just a glass container that we use inside the lab. And this flask weighs 241.3 grams. When filled with water, the density of water is 1.00 gram per cubic centimeter. Then the flask and its contents weighs total 408.89.1 gram. What is the volume of the water in the flask? So as we have here, we want to know the volume and we know the density. How to find the volume? We know that the density is mass over volume. So at this moment, this is unknown, and the density of water is known. So that is checked. We know this term. And the mass of the water, we don't know yet. However, we can use the information given to know the mass of the water. So we know 2 terms out of 3. We can solve what is the volume. So now what we are going to do first is we need the mass of the water. So the mass of the water is super easy. The total weight of flask is 489.1 grams, and the flask itself weighs 241.3 grams. So that difference will be what is inside, which is the mass of the water. That is a very common method you will use to measure the mass of the liquid inside the lab. You will have the empty container with the mass and then put your liquid or solid in there and then weigh the total mass. Then the difference will be the mass of the content. So that's the mass of the water. And for the density of water, we already know it is 1.00 gram per cubic centimeter. So the volume of the mass of the water, we want the volume because the volume unit is cubic centimeter. So that is a goal. And what we have here is the mass, which is 247.8 grams. So all in all, what we want to get rid of is a gram, and we want a centimeter cube. So that is the establish of this calculation. So what we are going to put here, the density here is 1.00 gram per cubic centimeter. So that is basically the unit right here. So 1.00 gram is in 1 cubic centimeter. So in other words, the volume equal to the mass divided by the density. So that gives us 247.8 centimeter cube. And centimeter cube, don't forget that basically milliliter. Okay. And now we are going to move on to the second question. Second question says, how much does the flask weigh when filled with the same volume of chloroform, which is another liquid, and with the density is 1.48 gram per cubic centimeter. So now, in order to know what is the total weight, the mass, so we basically need to figure out what the mass of the content inside, the mass of the chloroform. So how to figure out the mass of chloroform? Again, we are going to rely on the equation right here. Now we want to know the mass. So for chloroform, we don't know the mass, but we know the volume because it has the same volume of water. And we know the density. So for this one, what we're going to have here is the density of the chloroform times the volume of the chloroform. That will give us the mass of the chloroform, 366.7 grams. You can out the cubic centimeter. Okay, so now we know the chloroform mass, the total mass will be the content inside the flask plus the original mass of the flask. That gives us 608.0 grams. So that is how we use the density, mass, and volume, their relationship to solve the problem.